Movies, television shows, and web series has become one of the most important source of entertainment in our generation.
बात तो सही है.
But what are the elements which make these things so interesting and so engaging? In this video, we have done deep discussion on movie psychology. We have tried to explore the concept like cognitive dissonance and how movie can change and impact our perspective of reality. If you want to know more about this, do watch this video till the end and have fun.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
Pico is a great example because in the movie Pico, Deepika Padukone's character Pico is, she's a very strong, independent woman and she wants to support and care for her father. But he is a very demanding father and he expects a lot from her.
Even I think Bhool Bhulaiya can be considered as great example of storytelling because जहाँ पे जो main character है उसके past के बारे में पहले दिखाया नहीं जाता है. First, they show that there is something creepy going inside that house, and the main
Yeah.
character, who's psychiatrist Akshay Kumar, tries to explore the past of that female character, right?
We are talking about character developments, so I can think of Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. So Sheldon is like a very, rigid, self-centered, and a very uptight character.
Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast on the series of mental health. Today we have our guest Simran Rani, who's counseling psychologist in Hyderabad. Welcome Simran, how are you?
Hello Shivam, thank you for having me.
So सिमरन मुझे मूवी साइकोलॉजी के बारे में बहुत पहले से बात करना था. स्पेशली मुझे मूवी देखना बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है, राइट? सो मैंने सोच के रखा था कभी ना कभी मैं इसके ऊपर वीडियो जरूर बनाऊंगा. जब भी ऑडियंस मूवी देखते हैं, ठीक है, तो फिल्म मेकर्स डायरेक्टर अपने ऑडियंस को अपनी स्टोरी के लाइन पे किस तरह एंगेज करके रखते हैं. इन सिंपल वर्ड वो सस्पेंस कैसे बना के रखते हैं.
So yeah, filmmakers usually make us care about the characters first, and then they use various things like sound effects, a very interesting background score, different camera angles, and a great storytelling is usually how they create that suspense.
Exactly. No, I want to know more about storytelling. Like, can you give few examples जहाँ पे movies writers ने बहुत ही अच्छा storytelling बताया है या portrayal किया है.
Yeah, I think Andhadhun is a great example for this, as it has amazing storytelling. It kept us on the edge of our seats, and it has really, unpredictable plot twists, and also the use of dark humor helped in that.
Yeah, even I think Bhool Bhulaiya can be considered as great example of storytelling because where
Yeah.
जहाँ पे जो main character है उसके past के बारे में पहले दिखाया नहीं जाता है. First, they show that there is something creepy going inside that house, and the main
Yeah.
character, who's psychiatrist Akshay Kumar, tries to explore the past of that female character, right? And they
Yes.
found that उनके past में कुछ तो ऐसा हुआ था, which is impacting our future present. राइट, उनके फ्यूचर
Yeah.
को इम्पैक्ट डाल रहा है, इवन उसके प्रेजेंट को भी इम्पैक्ट डाल रहा है. तो इट्स ग्रेट
Yeah.
कि कितनी अच्छी तरीके से उन्होंने सस्पेंस को मेंटेन रखा एंड दे गेट टू नो अबाउट द ग्रेट कंक्लूजन एट द एंड.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Even Kahani is like a great example. It
How?
also has, very strong character developments. It's very thrilling. Like you never know what will happen next. And I think the storytelling was pretty good in that movie.
Exactly. So now let's come to one of the most interesting topic for me. Okay, explain me what is cognitive dissonance and how this
Okay.
concept is used in movie.
So, cognitive dissonance is a feeling you get when your actions don't align with your beliefs.
Okay.
Okay, so filmmakers usually put audience in this conflict where the character's actions might not, align with the viewer's beliefs. Like the character would be doing something morally wrong, or but audience do sympathize with it. They do feel for the character, even though they wouldn't do something like that in their own lives.
Okay. Can you provide few of the examples where we can
Yeah.
see that the actions of hero or villain or other character is not aligning with their thoughts?
Yeah, see, I think Pico is a great example because in the movie Pico, Deepika Padukone's character Pico is, she's a very strong, independent woman and she wants to support and care for her father.
Hmm.
But he is a very demanding father and he expects a lot from her. So she does want to care for him, but on the other hand, she also wants to have her own life and, fulfill her own desires.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even there can be one great example of a movie known as Lapata Ladies, where the
Yeah.
female character, are shown with ghungat,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
I think metaphorically that ghungat represents the boundaries between the society and female, right? कि
Yeah.
female के बीच और society के बीच में boundaries है where they cannot interact. Females are not allowed to show their identity or explore themselves, right?
Yeah.
So when audience are seeing that movie, a lot of people will say that अरे ये तो गलत हो रहा है, ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए, women should be
Yeah.
empowered to do work, to show their identity to the world. But वो वही लोग होंगे, उनके बहुत सारे मास अमाउंट में वो लोग होंगे जो कि सेम अपने बहन के साथ, अपनी वाइफ के साथ सेम करते होंगे चीजें,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there is a condition where their actions and thoughts are not aligning with each other. So when I'm talking about myself, I think movies change my perspective a lot. Okay, like there are a lot of movies like Attack on Titan, that's an anime, or movies like the Fight Club, not the Fight Club, Fight Club.
Yeah.
So वो movies बहुत portray करते हैं, and they show the very critical thinking, and they portray the life of people. You know, so I
Yes.
think movie is a great example where you can learn how people change their perspective, and even how you can change your perspective, right? So what do you think? किस हद तक मूवी हमारे पर्सपेक्टिव को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकती है?
We learn about a lot of different things, when we are watching a movie. We learn about different cultures, social norms,
Hmm.
various beliefs. But in some or the other way, our brain absorbs it.
Exactly.
So it can unconsciously shape our perception about something. I can give you an example. As in the movie Animal,
Mm-hmm.
Ranveer's character, there is a scene where he pulls his wife's bra strap and
Mm-hmm.
it hurts her and then
हाँ.
she slaps him.
हाँ.
So ये सीन होगा लाइक 2 ही मिनट का ऐसा होगा बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज ये जब ऑडियंस देख रहे men might not think of it as a big deal but
Hmm.
women might be thinking कि what if my husband does this to me
Hmm.
like what if that scene just gave a lot of men ideas कि मैं ये भी कर सकता अपने वाइफ के साथ.
हाँ.
So it can in some way affect us and like influence our perception. So I think these things matter in movies. And see, I'm not saying कि animal जैसे movies नहीं बनना. I think हर टाइप की मूवी बनना चाहिए. It's a good thing, but audience should decide what they should watch because a lot of people don't leave movies at the theater. They will bring them home in their
Hmm.
brains and they will, you know, they'll let it affect their reality. So there
Hmm.
are some blurred lines between fiction and reality. So अगर किसी के दिमाग में ये है कि हाँ मैं ये मूवी को थिएटर में छोड़ के आ सकता so they can watch movies like Animal, Kabir Singh. But a lot
Hmm.
of audience, a lot of male audience would actually get very influenced by these things because they think that this is cool.
Hmm.
If I do this, I'd look cool. After
Hmm.
Kabir Singh, I've seen this a lot. That a lot of
Exactly.
men were, indulging into this self-destructive behavior because
Okay.
they thought that this was cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that it's dependent. It depends on audience कि कौन सी मूवी देखना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल.
हर मूवी हर इंसान के लिए नहीं. Yeah.
So can you give example of few of the movies which portrayed the good example of cognitive dissonance?
So yeah, see, Queen in like the Bollywood movie Queen is a good example for this. As in Queen, the dissonance arises when her previous beliefs about her role in life doesn't
Hmm.
align with her newfound experiences. Like after she travels, after she starts understanding herself, she has to reevaluate, what she was thinking about who she was. वैसा.
Hmm.
So that is a good example. And yeah, in Hollywood, Shutter Island is a good example.
Mhm.
In Shutter Island, there's an inner conflict between between the reality and the perception. The
Hmm.
character, hallucinates a lot in his life. So the audience experience the same dissonance as they question what is the reality. And see, also the movie Gone Girl. Gone Girl really messes with our heads, like Amy, the lead, pretends to be this school girl, the
Hmm.
perfect wife. So, both okay, we do accept that. Okay, yeah, this is exactly who she is, but later we find out that it's all a lie.
Exactly.
And the movie, constantly keeps switching from like who we like exactly. Sometimes we like Nick, and initially we feel very bad for Nick, and then nobody's perfect in that movie. It keeps switching if we like Amy or do we like Nick. So that is
Hmm.
also a good example because it leaves audience with the dissonance.
So one very serious question which I was thinking about: do you think
Mhm.
movie can be used as an escapism for people? To avoid their loneliness or to avoid the problems which they are facing in their life.
So I do feel like movies offer a sense of escape because it's like it's like leaving our daily lives for a while and entering a different world.
Hmm.
It's like a form of stress relief for people. And we can live through characters by experiencing their fantasies and that we might not be able to do in our real lives. People
Exactly.
live through the characters.
Fantasies like.
Yeah, so see, fantasies like, traveling the world. People are very intrigued by, different cultures, different countries. So, when you watch a movie like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, so it will feel like you are there, you are experiencing that for a while. So, that might be kind of an
Hmm.
escape to people.
Exactly. Even I think movies can be considered as projection of our own desire. For example,
Yeah.
we like to watch those movies जो हमारे लाइफ पे नहीं है. For example, if there is a person who want romantic
Hmm.
relationship in their life, then they will
Yeah.
prefer to watch a movie जहाँ पे बहुत perfect example बताया गया love का, right? Or for example, a
Yeah.
person who is very materialistic, जहाँ पे पैसा वगैरह की बिजनेस वगैरह की बातें हो रही है, and is
Hmm.
liking those things in their life. So they will try to prefer to watch those movies because कहीं ना कहीं उसके desire पूरी हो रही है वो movie देख के. They are going into another
Yeah.
world where they can
Yeah.
see those things.
Yeah. And some shows and movies are also very good at portraying a good character development.
Hmm.
Some shows I've seen some really great character developments in a show where there is an arc. Arc is like a journey a character goes through.
Hmm.
So, like I've seen some great character arcs. Do you have any examples for it?
Yeah, actually, I have an example. The most famous I can see is the Batman. Okay, the first when you encounter him, then you can see him as a broken kid. इसके parents का death हो
Yeah.
गया था, right? And he was, into revenge of kind of things. उसको revenge चाहिए था from the people, and was very confused and into very rag, right? But
Yeah.
somehow he tries to discover himself. He tries to discover his potentials, right? And he tries to help the society by using his trauma, the past trauma. You can see the power, right? जो उसने पास से
Yes.
सीखा है,
Yeah.
so he tries to train himself. आपने देखा होगा कि मूवी से बहुत सारी चीजें दिखाते हैं उसके ट्रेनिंग्स को लेके. बहुत सारे कोट वगैरह है, बहुत ही मोटिवेशनल कोट है, which can really change the life of people. So it was amazing for me Batman का transformation देखना from starting to end.
Yeah, I totally see that. Yes. So yeah, if we are talking about character developments, so I can think of Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory.
Hmm.
So Sheldon is like a very, rigid, self-centered, and a very uptight character. So he is brilliant, but you would feel very frustrated when you look at him. So he's not good with his friend, not kind, and eventually, like not overnight, but gradually, you can see the character development when he starts being empathetic
Hmm.
towards his friends and values his friendships and relationships. So, uh, initially, he's the character that we laugh on, but
Exactly.
eventually we care about him.
True.
We love and care that character later.
Hmm.
Is there a movie or a TV show in which you have felt that the most, the escape while you feeling?
Hmm.
Yeah, the movie
Escape.
that inspired you the most.
Okay. Inspiration and escapism. Yes, there is a movie, Pursuit of Happiness. वो मूवी मैंने तब
Yeah,
देखा
with
था. हाँ, वो मूवी मैंने शायद तब देखा था when I was in lowest point of my life. Okay, when I was feeling कि hope
mm,
नहीं है, like I can't do anything in my life, and hopefully I was into
mm,
that movie. And the way William Smith has shown his acting skills and the way story was, and the movie is based on true story. Okay, so वहां
yes,
से मुझे
yes,
बहुत ज्यादा मोटिवेशन मिला था कि how we can see struggle in a very different manner. Like, that movie gave me a different perspective of hard work, of
yes,
inspiration, and how to keep moving on even if you're feeling that there is no hope in future.
yeah, like the perseverance in the
Exactly,
character. Yeah,
exactly. Even though the character was suffering a lot, he was, focusing on one thing, and that was to achieve his goal, to provide his family with good food and good
yeah,
shelter. तो देर वहां पे मैंने फील किया कि अगर जो मेरे लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, अगर मैं किसी एक चीज में फोकस करूंगा, द इंस्पिरेशन वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट मूवी. तो यप, मैंने एक चीज में फोकस करना स्टार्ट किया, एंड फाइनली मैंने बहुत ही अच्छा ट्रैक चूज किया.
all right, yeah, that's great.
एंड व्हाट अबाउट यू?
So for me, I think it's Game of Thrones because even though like it's a fantasy setting, but still, I just think that Game of Thrones has inspired me a lot, and it shaped my perspectives in a lot of ways. I loved watching Game of Thrones. That was like the best period in my life.
ओके.
So, but like you learn about different moral dilemmas and power dynamics in the society. So yeah,
एग्जैक्टली.
that can teach you a little about politics. Can teach you a little about how there is strength in alliances. How how people betray us. How can we learn from our mistakes and these things? I just think that Game of Thrones is a must watch for everyone. It can teach you a lot of things.
True. One more very interesting question I want to ask. Why do people fall in
Hmm?
love with villain? Okay. The best example can
Yeah,
be Joker. We can see people talking about Joker, the Joker of Batman. Okay, though वो बहुत ज्यादा cruel है,
yeah,
he's killing people, in a very cruel manner. Even being a very, bad man, a bad person, people love him. People want to be like him. मैंने लोगों को बोलते हुए सुनना है कि मुझे तो जोकर बनना है. He's very cool, he's very dashing, right? जबकि उसको पता है कि उसकी moral values बहुत ज्यादा कम है, right?
hmm.
Dark Knight, Joker was more popular than Batman. Okay, though he was very
Yeah,
cruel, right? So ऐसा क्या चीजें
yes,
हैं
yes.
जो लोगों को ड्राइव करती है to become villain or to love him or to love villain? His character, his personality is
Yeah.
very attractive and very charming. So वो क्या चीज है? Is this anything in our subconscious mind which forces us to pursue those characters?
So I think that people are drawn to characters like Joker because he because of his chaotic nature
Hmm.
and how he's a rebel. That can make us we project our suppressed desires and break free from societal norms when we are watching characters like Joker.
Hmm.
And also his intelligence and unpredictability can be very fascinating to the audience. उसके अलावा I think that he represents this shadow self, the darker side of human nature.
Hmm. You talked about suppression and our dark desires, right? Exactly what Carl Jung said. He said that we have our shadow side and a surface side. shadow side is one which we are inborn, जो हमारा real personality है, and the surface side is somewhat we pretend to be, that is
Yeah.
morally acceptable in society. से इसलिए जब हम कुछ देखते हैं जो कि
Yes.
विजुअली हमारा डार्क साइड को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, so we try to get attached with those
Yeah.
things and we think that okay, he is the one who deserve my love or he is the one who deserve my interest. That's why हम सोचते हैं कि हम वैसा
Yes.
बन पाए, because he is the one who is doing that thing which we are not able to do, we don't have courage to do.
So yeah, if we are talking about the darker side of human nature, there is also this movie Bazigar.
Hmm.
Like I think everyone.
Exactly.
So, in Bazigar, Shahrukh Khan's character, he has this elaborate plan to revenge the destruction of his family.
Exactly.
So he doesn't mind, destroying Kiran or the fiance, killing her sister or anything at all to fulfill his desire.
Exactly.
I think that whenever something gets in the way, he destroys that
Hmm.
person. So I think that is like a projection of his desires. I think it's all excuses that he used to manipulate himself into believing that he's doing this for the right
Hmm.
reasons. So, yeah, I think that is a good example.
So basically, he was forecasting his shadow side, right? Hmm. Okay, so let's talk about dark comedy. Okay, a great example of representation of human desires. ह्यूमर का यूज करके किसी चीज को आइडेंटिफाई करना. Can you name some of the movies which represent the dark desire using dark comedies?
Yes, see, dark comedies, I can say, like, I would like to recommend some dark comedies, like Ready or Not,
Okay.
The Dictator,
हाँ.
and in Bollywood, there is this movie Blackmail,
Hmm.
and then there's Don't Look Up.
Hmm.
I think these movies are like good dark comedies. You should give it a watch if you are into dark comedies.
Okay. Why those movies are considered dark?
Genre where you can talk about serious subjects and taboo issues in a humorous way.
Hmm.
In a way, express the uncomfortable thoughts you have
Hmm.
without harming anyone.
Okay.
So, dark comedy is also something which will not just make you laugh, but it will also make you think.
Okay.
So, people with higher intelligence tend to like dark comedies more.
Hmm. Exactly.
I think people indulge in dark comedies.
So finally, we come to the end of our podcast. We had a great communication with Simran ma'am. We talked a lot of stuff about movies, everything. Like we covered cognitive dissonance, dark comedy, desires representations, many things. So I hope this video was very fun for our audience. And thank you so much, ma'am, for giving the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.